Oh my gosh, you guys! Today is going to be so much fun. So, I know what you're thinking. Justine, it's 2025. The Nintendo Switch 2 is out, everyone is talking about it, and your unboxing needs to see a Switch OLED? Yes! I wanted to see if this console, which was like the ultimate upgrade a few years ago, still holds up. So many of you have asked me about it, especially with its price dropping. So, let's dive in. The box itself is still so classic Nintendo. It's got that clean, vibrant look with a big, beautiful picture of the console right on the front. It feels premium, even now. It's not just a box. It's like a time capsule of pure gaming joy. Getting inside is just as awesome as I remember. That satisfying feeling of lifting the lid. You know what I'm talking about. Everything is packed so neatly and perfectly inside. You see the two white Joy-Con controllers sitting on either side of the main console tablet. They just pop against the black screen. Sliding the console out of its protective sleeve, the first thing I noticed all over again is how sleek it feels. The back has this really nice matte finish that feels way better than the original Switch. It feels solid and well-built, and even though we have the Switch 2 now, holding this just feels right. It's like visiting an old friend who got a really cool makeover. And you guys, the dock. I still love this white dock. It looks so clean and modern, and it just fits into any setup, whether it's next to my TV or on my desk. They even gave it an Ethernet port, which was a huge deal back then for all of us who wanted stable online play for games like Splatoon 3 or Smash Bros. It feels like Nintendo really thought about the little things that would make the experience better for serious players. It's those small quality-of-life improvements that made the OLED model such a big step up from the original. And honestly, those details still matter today. Pulling out all the accessories, you get the Joy-Con grip, the straps, the HDMI cable, and the power adapter. It's the complete package, everything you need to start playing right away, whether you're on the go or docked to your big screen. Holding it all in my hands again in 2025. There's this wave of nostalgia, but also a real appreciation for the design. Nintendo absolutely nailed the look and feel of this console. It was the peak of the original Switch generation, and you can totally see why it was so beloved. The question is, does the experience hold up against its newer, bigger sibling? Let's find out. Okay, let's talk about the star of the show, this screen. Powering on the Switch OLED, even in 2025, is a magical moment. That 7-inch OLED display just comes to life with colors that are so incredibly rich and vibrant. The difference between this and the old LCD screen is still night and day. I loaded up The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and wow. The greens of Hyrule are so lush, the blues of the sky are deeper, and the glowing oranges and reds from a campfire or a sunset are just breathtaking. OLED technology means every pixel lights itself up, so you get perfect blacks, which makes everything else pop. The contrast is just insane. When you're exploring a dark cave or a shrine, the shadows are truly dark, not a washed-out gray like you'd see on older LCD screens. This makes the glowing elements and hidden details stand out so much more. It creates a sense of depth and atmosphere that completely pulls you into the game. It's something you really have to see in person to appreciate fully. Even simple menu icons look sharper and more colorful. It makes every single part of the gaming experience feel more premium and immersive. This display was a game changer, and honestly, it still looks absolutely gorgeous. Let's compare it for a second. The new Switch 2 has a bigger 8-inch LCD screen, which is amazing for its size, and it has HDR support, which is a big deal for sure. But here's the thing, it's still an LCD. That means it can't achieve the same perfect black levels and infinite contrast that this OLED screen can. So while the Switch 2 screen is technically more advanced with HDR and is larger, the OLED panel on this model has a unique visual punch that is just different. The colors feel more saturated, and the contrast gives it a cinematic quality that I just love for story-driven games. So, if you are someone who plays primarily in handheld mode, this screen is still a massive selling point. Games designed with a strong art style like Metroid Dread or Hollow Knight look absolutely phenomenal on this display. The deep blacks make the moody environments feel so much more intense and immersive. It elevates the entire library of existing Switch games in a way that just makes you want to replay all your favorites. The visual quality is so good that it honestly makes it a tough competitor, even with the new tech on the market. It's just that beautiful. Beyond that stunning display, Nintendo made some other really smart upgrades to the OLED model that make it an amazing handheld device. First off, the speakers. They are so much better. Games just sound fuller and clearer. When you're playing without headphones, you can actually hear the difference in the audio quality. The sound is more open and has a bit more bass, making explosions, character dialogue, and the beautiful musical scores in games feel more impactful. It's one of those subtle changes that you might not notice at first, but once you go back to an older model, you realize what you were missing. It makes handheld sessions so much more enjoyable. And then there's the kickstand. Oh my gosh, the original kickstand was, well, it was a little flimsy piece of plastic that barely held the console up. But on the OLED model, they replaced it with this wide, sturdy, adjustable stand that runs along the whole back of the console. You can set it to any angle you want, and it stays put. It's perfect for setting up on a table for some multiplayer Mario Kart, or just playing with a Pro Controller on a plane. This kickstand is a total game changer for tabletop play. It makes the console feel so much more stable and versatile. It was honestly one of my favorite upgrades. The overall feel in your hands is fantastic. Even though the screen is bigger, the console itself is the same size as the original, just with smaller bezels. It still fits comfortably in my hands, and the extra screen real estate makes a huge difference without adding bulk. Everything just feels more expansive and easier to see. And let's not forget about the battery life. This model has the enhanced battery that was introduced in the V2 of the original Switch, giving you anywhere from 4.5 to 9 hours of playtime. For a portable console in 2025, that is still incredibly solid, letting you game for hours on a long trip without needing to find an outlet. When you combine the amazing screen, the improved speakers, the incredible kickstand, and the strong battery life, the Switch OLED still presents itself as the ultimate portable Nintendo machine from its generation. Every upgrade was focused on making that handheld experience as good as it could possibly be. It was the refinement of a brilliant idea, and all of those thoughtful improvements still shine through today. It's a console that was clearly designed for players who love to take their games with them, and it excels at that mission beautifully, even with a new console on the scene. So here we are, at the big question of 2025. Do you get the Switch OLED or the brand new Switch 2? Let's break it down. The Switch 2 is an absolute beast. It's got a much faster processor, meaning it can run bigger, more demanding games with way better graphics, especially when docked to a TV. We're talking higher resolutions and smoother frame rates. It also has that larger 8-inch LCD with HDR and new controllers with some cool new features. It is, without a doubt, the future of Nintendo gaming. If you want to play the latest and greatest Nintendo titles for the next 5 to 7 years, the Switch 2 is the way to go. It's the definition of future-proofing. But then we have the price. The Switch 2 launched at $399, which is a premium price for a premium console. The Switch OLED, on the other hand, has seen its price drop to around $299 or even lower during sales. That's a significant difference. For $100 less, you're still getting an incredible console with a massive, amazing library of thousands of games. The OLED display, as we talked about, is still a major contender and, for some eyes, might even be preferable to the Switch 2's LCD because of that perfect contrast. It's an amazing value proposition. So, who should buy the Switch OLED in 2025? I think it's perfect for a few types of people. First, if you primarily play in handheld mode and absolutely love the punchy, vibrant look of an OLED screen, this console is still a dream. Second, if you're on a budget or looking for a second console for the family, getting the OLED model for a lower price is a super smart move. You get access to an enormous, proven library of masterpieces, from Breath of the Wild to Animal Crossing New Horizons on a beautiful screen. It's an amazing entry point into the Nintendo ecosystem. And who should get the Switch 2? If you are a hardcore Nintendo fan who has to have the latest technology and wants to play all the new games with the best possible performance, the Switch 2 is a no-brainer. If you play docked to a 4K TV a lot, the graphical enhancements will be a huge upgrade for you. It's for the gamer who wants to be on the cutting edge and is ready for the next generation of Nintendo adventures. Ultimately, the Switch OLED is still an amazing piece of hardware. It's a celebration of the best of its generation, while the Switch 2 is an exciting promise of what's to come. Both have their place in 2025, and the choice really comes down to your priorities, budget, and gaming style.